What's good, family? My name is Clem de la Creme. Thank you for being here with me right now. So today was my music composition class, and we spent the majority of the class trying to figure out the differences between harmony and rhythm. And mind you, this is a 4-hour class. So we ended up going in, taking kick drums and then and sampling that and speeding it up, and basically finding out that you can turn almost any sound into a tone that you can end up using to create in different pitches and harmonies and things like that. And so we did that, and then we took harmonies and we ended up, speeding those up, slowing those down, and checking out that you can actually get rid of the pitch and tones in different notes, and that you can just create toneless, almost like noteless sounds. Like once you get below 50 hertz, then the ear can perceive something as like essentially like the same sound. And if you get below 20 hertz, I think it is, that's where the ears can't stop. That's where the ears stop differentiating between pitch, so it just becomes just like a noise. But at the end of the day, it turns out like harmonies and rhythms are, kind of the same thing. They're similar in different ways. I mean, they're obviously not the same thing, but they come up from the same thing. They're all vibrations. And I mean, that's what it's all sound and what music and what things are. So just vibrations. So I spent a lot of time looking at different songs and analyzing them, and then trying to figure out, chords. Started looking into chords and music theory. We spent a lot of time on music theory, but the things we're doing, we're trying to find like the root chords for different songs, and we were analyzing the chords to songs. We got broken up into groups of 2, and in our groups we were supposed to pick a song and then analyze it, like all the different chord changes throughout the whole piece. And I got paired up with Natalia, and shout out Natalia. She, just like Charlie yesterday, she knew music theory very well, so she was able to speed us up into getting things done a lot quicker than if it was just me working by myself. So that was cool and much appreciated. And we ended up also talking about what the chord changes did for the piece and for the song. And so we had looked at, I think the piece was Joji. I think Joji is the guy's name. He's on 88 Rising. He's a Japanese artist. But the song was Slow Dancing in the Dark. And it's a song that's kind of like the vibe is, there's like love, but there's pain and a little bit of like melancholy, and that came through with the chords they chose and the chord changes and stuff. And so we ended up going and talking more about chords and like major chords and minor chords and whatnot. And for me, when I'm making pieces so far in the past of productions and things, I'm just going to what sounds good to my ear, or I'm picking specific samples that are in certain keys and stuff, so I know that they go together. But when I'm making different chords for pieces, like I said, it's all just my stuff by ear, or I'm using a program called Captain Chords, which for those of you producers out there, it's like a cheat sheet for making chords and things. You can basically choose what key you want your piece to be in, and they tell you all the different chords that can go along with that, and all the different patterns, and like the as well as the velocity. You can do all kinds of changes, and then you can also create bass lines to match those melodies, to match the other harmonies and the pre-choruses and different things that you want to make. But that's essentially what I've used a lot of the time to speed up some of my creation process. But I didn't always even understand what the changes meant or what they did when I was doing them. And so today in class, we learned kind of the reasons or the things for that. When you're looking at a C major scale, I think it was the first, the fourth, and the fifth are the happy tones, the ones that are like uplifting and create that just like that positive vibe. Whereas the second, the third, and the sixth are where it starts to bring it kind of minor and make it sound kind of a little darker. And the seventh is the one that makes it just sound really kind of dark and strange. So after that in class, we started going through, other songs as a group and seeing the different chord changes and progressions and what they did to help tell stories. Because just within those chord things, you help evoke the emotion, you help tell stories. And, with that, you can make your music even deeper. I was doing things, when I was picking my chords, I was just picking them because they sounded good, and I wasn't always thinking about the exact changes. I was thinking overall, like, does this sound happy? Does this sound sad? But I wasn't thinking the specific, like, oh, because this is the first one in like a C major, that it's really, uplifting and bringing it up. And so now when I'm using chords in my future pieces, I'm really gonna be thinking about, what types of emotions am I bringing out by choosing this chord and doing that, like the intention in the story that you're trying to tell. And if you start looking at the root key that any song is in, you can start to see the intention of that producer and that composer and what they wanted you to feel, really. Because music can be a journey. Music is definitely powerful and can bring about very strong emotions when done properly. But yeah, that's essentially what we looked at today. Today was day 2 or day 3 maybe without caffeine. So I was a little bit sleepy. And I had a one-on-one with a teacher this morning. And this is a teacher who teaches mixing and mastering classes. And they're not one of my teachers. But I, wanted to get better at mixing vocals, because with a lot of my tracks, I always have difficulty with the vocals. And so for certain things, I'll end up mixing my instrumentals, and then I'll send the whole piece with the vocals out to somebody else to finally do the final mixes on, which, I want to be able to do myself. So because I'm not having any mixing classes until next semester, I thought I'd meet with this teacher today. And I did not come prepared enough. I showed up and I had some pieces and I had some questions, but the stuff that I had for them was unmixed tracks. So I brought them some, like my tracks had the vocals, all the different layers and stuff. I was, hey, so where should we start on this? And he was like, why don't we look at something that you already have? Like, we already started working on the mixing. And myself, I haven't done any vocal mixing probably in about 1.5 years, or serious vocal mixing. I've done like small rough mixes to send to the sound engineers who's been doing my vocal mixing, but I haven't done tracks to finish on my own for, like I said, about the past 1.5 years. So the stuff I had been mixing have been like remixes. I've been doing the vocal stuff on there, but a lot of the times the artists have like full mixed buses already, or the vocals are already mixed on there, and I'm just chopping them up for the majority of that. As well as I've done some auto mixing and mastering using isotope products. And this teacher was telling me, probably also because like this way I started in there, just about where things originated, and like about knowing how to do things to really be a master at a craft. They were frowning on using isotope products like neutron and ozone, but that's what those are some things that have been helping me to get things done quicker, and without having the proper training and skills, at least in a class. I've done a lot of learning through YouTube and done lots of mixing like that. My EP16s, that was entirely mixed and mastered by me without using any other outside work or outside mastering, mixing things. Anyways, but yeah, it was cool. They gave me some good pointers on layers. That was one thing that they had talked to me about, because for myself, when I record my vocals, I record if I've got 2 mics that I can use, I'll set up both mics so that way I can get 2 recordings of the same take from different microphones. So it adds like an extra layer, but it matches up perfectly because it's the same take. And so I'll usually get like 2 to 3 layers like that, and then I'll do the same thing for the hook, where I'll have about the same number of layers, same type of microphone setups. And this teacher was telling me that I should have more layers for the hook, as well as to add harmonies to all the hook layers, because it needs to stand out even more from the verse. When the hook comes, it should be usually, not always, but like usually should be much more powerful. So being more intentional with the number of layers that I'm using, rather than like for myself, I'm doing it just because like, well, I need thicker like vocals and stuff. So recording many layers is what I've been doing. So I have a recording session on Friday, meeting up with Santi. You know, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, that's Canava. We're gonna work on that one track, and now I have a better idea of the layers that I'm looking for myself for this piece. So I'm looking forward to testing that out and doing that. But outside of that, not a lot. I worked on some stuff in class. I mean, not in class. I worked on some things in just like the main lounge area today, like for class. And yesterday I went to the Vault Festival, which started yesterday and apparently goes until March. But I don't know if it's at one venue or if it's like all over the city. But I went and there were these underground tunnels, and it felt like I was going to, I had no idea that there was not multiple locations, but I walk in there with the friend who invited me, and there's a box office, and so I assume we were like picking up our tickets, you know, and going to a theater and checking it out. But it was like a movie theater for plays, but not like a movie theater. It was set up, you know, so you go there and you tell them like which play you're going to, and you get your tickets, and there's like listing for all the different times and stuff. But there's all these underground tunnels with many different stage setups and different areas for the different plays that they had. And so, you know, we got to go. They had like also some bars down there, people could hang out and have drinks and talk and whatnot. And just outside there was a lot of graffiti and a lot of street art there, and someone playing ukulele, which was cool. And I think right when we walked into the place, they were playing Aretha, and it was cool. But I was glad to find out that this is going on until March, and so I'm definitely gonna check out some more things at that venue, because like that was really cool. I was like, wait, they have a movie theater but for plays? I was trying to understand it. I was like, man, this is really cool. Like, this is a great idea. You know, they got plays happening, you know, all the time, but you know, like there's just many going on all at the same time in like the same location, kind of. And but yeah, that's been essentially like my past 24 hours. That's what's going on. But I love y'all. I hope that you're doing well, and if you're a producer, that you got some stuff out of what I just shared. And I look forward to catching y'all next time. But I got more stuff to handle. I gotta put this video up, and I think the one from yesterday too, because I don't think I put that up yet. I know I didn't put that up yet. But yeah, my name is Clem de la Creme. I love y'all. I look forward to seeing you next time. Peace.